I'll ask you about Jay Witt.
Yeah.
Everyone, we can all see his threes, we can see some of the other stuff, but the effect that he's had on other guys, we've asked you a little bit about him persevering when he's been through, but when he's on the court, there's a vitality he brings to the court. Do you think that's kind of trickled down on some of the other guys here in the last couple of weeks?
I think it does. He his personality just draws teammates to him. He just has that unbelievable smile and his approach to the game and how much he loves being a part of a team and specifically this year being able to contribute so much on a consistent basis. And so obviously he's helped us on the court, but he also equally and maybe even more helps us in the locker room as well.
He hit a three, his first three, I think, in Florida State.
Yeah.
He didn't talk to anybody, but he blew a little kiss. Is that a product of a conversation you've had with him?
Yeah, the guys do stuff after their shots, and one of the things that I have told them is that, when I played, I used to hold up my hands after a three sometimes, and I'm an emotional person, which makes me an emotional coach, and I was an emotional player. And when you're out there playing with emotion, that's exactly what I want. The thing that I don't want is a celebration that brings attention to yourself for something that you were supposed to do out there on the floor. And that wasn't the case for Jay Wash, but I do have those conversations with the guys in terms of the things that they do after they make a shot, that to respond in a way that you've been there before, and that's what your job and responsibility, and that's what you were asked to do.
So the kiss was progress.
Yes. I don't know who I didn't see that. I don't know who he was blowing a kiss
like
to.
A chef's kiss. It was pretty
Okay. All right. Well,
He had
great.
some fun
Well,
with
if it goes in, go for it. Okay.
It was kiss worthy.
Okay. Good.
So to follow up on that, there was a tweet he did of thanked his coaches and teammates for instilling confidence, realizing the impact he can make on the team. Armando raised the question whether who has control of his account when he saw the tweet, but I was curious. He hadn't been playing a lot of minutes before this recent stretch. It had been less than probably he wanted. Sort of, how did you handle the idea of instilling confidence or saying you can make this impact? Here's your opportunity, and he's responded to working with a guy behind the scenes before that moment to keep him ready.
Well, just for everybody, and I think one of the things that has been really good about this team, specifically over the last 2.5 weeks, is that you've had a number of different people step up in different games. And, against Florida State, Jay Wash played really well, but Cade played really well. Vin played really well. Jay Witt has, over the last 4 games, has been consistent in terms of shooting and finishing around the basket and rebounding. And Drake's playing really well. And so one of the things that I always tell the guys is that, and I think I told you guys this before in regards to your number is always going to be called a number of times. And so, I can't tell you when, where, how, and how much, or in the manner in which it's going to be called, but your job and responsibility is when your number is called is to be ready to play. And so for Jay Wash, for all the guys, Cade and Jay Witt, I think it shows the level of preparation and the commitment to this team that when their number is called, they can step up and they can make impactful plays for us to be able to be successful.
To follow up just on that, how challenging is it to instill confidence in a player when they maybe aren't playing as much, or you know what I mean, that you can say, well, your opportunity is going to come, but until it happens, they don't know that in their mind, maybe, worrying about it.
Yeah, I think that comes with the relationship that I have with the players. It's not just basketball. I spend a ton of time with them off the court. And when I tell them that, I think they believe me. because one, I'm straightforward and direct with them. I care about them as a person, and I think they understand that. And there's evidence to prove that your number is going to be called. I mean, there's evidence to that. And I think they, from that sense, they trust me.
Rob?
Hubert, there seems to be a different aggression level from Cade in recent games, and particularly at Florida State. I mean, he has one of the play of the games with that rebound and
Yeah.
putback. Were there any conversations or things you saw from him in practice as far as the aggression that you kind of were poking at him and
Yeah.
trying to get him there?
Yeah, no, in practice, I mean, obviously we have, two different teams competing against each other, and I would put him on the blue team, and he would play with a ton of confidence on both ends of the floor on the blue team. And then when I put him on the white team, he wasn't playing with that same type of aggressiveness. And I asked him, I said, what's the difference between the blue and the white team? He said, well, I feel like the blue team really needs me to be aggressive. And I said, the white team does too. And I said, who told you that? Who told you to hold back and not be as aggressive? And he says, nobody told me that. I said, I didn't tell you that? I said, well, then I want you to be aggressive, and I want you to be you. I said, everybody else's game will fit around you, but we need you to be the best that you can be. And I really think, he's been practicing really well over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and now it's starting to translate out there in the game. And I'm just really happy for him. It's not about making shots. I agree with you. I think he's playing with an aggressiveness and a confidence out there that that hasn't consistently been shown prior to that, but he's doing it now, and it's really nice to see.
Hubert,
Sorry.
go ahead, Michael, and now.
Hubert, how do you approach a game like tomorrow when Miami is coming in having a really difficult season and losing their coach midway through? How do you not let the guys maybe overlook this game?
Well, Miami has our full attention because they're deserving of it. The talent that they have out there on the floor, they're a good basketball team. It may, I don't look at the record. They're extremely well coached. A lot of talent out there on the floor, and this is the ACC. Everybody's good. The approach to Miami is the same that it would be the approach if we were playing the Los Angeles Lakers. Like our attention to detail, our importance of the discipline and details that go into putting yourself in a position to be successful is the same in any game. And we're excited about the challenge of playing Miami and understand that it's going to be a really good game and very competitive.
Hubert, you guys had the announcement of Jim Tanner coming
Yeah.
on board earlier this week, and I have heard you that you want to focus on this team and the remaining games, but we've been getting a ton of questions from our audience about some of this stuff. Just wanted to ask you what do you envision the structure being like with I guess that side, the front office side opening up? How does the workflow go?
Yeah.
And there's more voices in the room now. How is that? I'm sure it's a collaborative process. Like, can you just give us some insight into just how the thing's going to be set up and how you all are going to work together?
Yeah, well, first of all, as I said before, it was a position that the program wanted, and I felt like it was needed. I do, and I'm so happy that Jim is a part of our program and a part of our team. I've known him for a long time. He's a great individual, and I just enjoy my relationship with him, and now my relationship with him in this capacity. I've said before, and I think I said in the statement when it was publicly announced on Tuesday that he's going to help out in a number of different ways, and specifically player contracts, NIL, transfer portal. But in regards to how, the details of how it's going to work, that's information that I don't know right now because he was just officially hired on Tuesday. And so,
I guess how you envision it.
I think it's going to work great. I really do. I have no question about this being exactly what this program needs, and I'm really, really excited about however it turns out. I'm excited about where it's going. I'm really excited about it.
When did you kind of, I know it was obviously new and evolving, when did you kind of realize that this could be something that you needed, that there was more work to be done, in a way?
Well, I don't have a specific date when I woke up and go, wow, this is something that is needed. I mean, obviously college athletics has changed, especially the last 4 years, and coinciding with me being head coach here. And I think you should always be in a position of listening and learning. And there's times where you're going to have to tweak, pivot, alter, and change things and be able to adapt. And that's something that I've always been willing to do as a person, as a player, and now as a coach. And as I said before, I'm really excited about moving forward and what this is going to look like.
Hubert, when it comes to, I guess, Jim specifically, and kind of evaluating, best candidates and things like that. Obviously, as you guys were going along and doing your season and things like that, like, I guess, what was the process of, obviously, going about this season and everything, and then also trying to discern and decipher, a position that you guys were trying to fill, and just your level of involvement, I guess, in bringing them on?
Well, the level of involvement for myself was 100%. And that's a part of my job, is to be able, it's not just coaching basketball. There's a number of things. There's press conferences. There's a number of things that you have to do. And so that was another thing that was wanted, and another thing that was needed. And that's a part of the job. And I accept it and I love it.
You had a long NBA career. How would you compare how this will likely be set up to the structure on NBA teams?
That's a great question. Yes, I did play 12 years in the NBA, but it wasn't 12 years in management. And so I was the player. I got traded 3 times. I got waived. I got cut. And so, again, I think you guys are asking great questions in regards to details. I just don't have that information now because it's so new. I mean, it's just so new. And so I think it would be negligent on my part to dive into the details when it's only really started since Tuesday. I think that's a question that I could answer a little bit more into detail later.
You mentioned you've obviously known Jim for a long time. Just from a personal side of things, how much was that relationship a factor in him being the guy that you were comfortable with? And can you tell us a little bit more about your relationship?
No, being able to be with somebody that you enjoy and like, that's a huge thing. I want to work with good people. I want to be around people that I enjoy working with, that when they walk into the room, you break out in a smile, and also have not only similar personality traits, but also similar in terms of loving this place and a commitment to not only to this program, but this university and this community. And so for him to have that background of, our love for North Carolina, that was a huge piece in us deciding to do this together.
Time for a couple more.
Just to follow up, did you meet in school, or how long have you known him for?
I've known him since coming back. I mean, obviously, since coming back, being an assistant coach with Coach Williams, and him being a representative of a number of our former UNC players.
Hubert, getting back to your pro career, were you ever on a team that had a coaching change in the middle of the season?
Yes. Yeah, all the time. It's the NBA. Yes. Yes.
What does that do to the dynamic of a team when something like that changes?
Those are part of the job. Those things happen. I'm not sure where you're going with that, but
It got referenced last night, Utah, Arizona, at the Utah, Arizona game. Tommy Lloyd mentioned it because Utah's coach had gotten let go, and
Okay.
Utah had, I think, a player and their ops person were the sons of the coach. So it's a part. It's up
Okay.
there, that topic.
okay. Yes, that has happened to me with the New York Knicks, with the New Jersey Nets. Yeah, it's happened with the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, it's happened to me a number of times. And but as I said before, my experience of that was as a player. And so as a player, my job and responsibility is to, irregardless of who the coach was to play and to prepare and to play. And that was my approach as a player.
Andrew?
I'm going to go back to the Jim Tanner aspect here. How hard was it? How challenging was it for you last year? The portal opens and you're still playing in the tournament, and you can't, I imagine you can only devote so much time or allocate responsibility to others to be prepared for the portal. How much will that change now? How much will it be easier for you that you may not have to do the same amount of vetting while also coaching your team as you had to last year?
Yeah, again, I'm really looking forward to what this is going to look like. Obviously, having Jim a part of our staff helps in regards to the timing and specifically how it helps. Those are things that information that I really can't say right now because it's been so new, but I definitely 100% excited about how it's going to help. I know it's going to help, and just excited about what this is going to look like moving forward.
Well, as part of that, real quickly, thanks, Steve. How difficult was it? You're playing in the NCAA tournament last year, and there's portal activity going on. So how challenging was that for you?
I don't think it was challenging. Again, my focus is on the team and is on basketball, but also my job and responsibility is to think and focus on other things at the same time, and that's just part of the job, and I accept that, and as I said before, I love it, and so I don't look at it as challenging. I look at it as that's part of my job.
Last one, Adam?
Hubert, I think the portal opens in 25 days. I think that's right. When does Jim
March
start?
24th?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's 24th.
Yeah.
When does Jim start? I mean, is there a start date for?
Yes, now.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you got it.
I was just gonna say, Hubert, yeah, slow news week for you also comes out that you've got a contract extension that ties you to the program through 29-30. Congratulations. What does that show mean for you to see that from the university, just to give you a little more stability moving forward?
Well, I mean, Kirsch can confirm this or back me up. The extension or the new deal was agreed upon in July of 2024,
Right.
and it was officially signed in December of 2024. And so, in regards to it being reported publicly on Tuesday, I don't know why it was reported during that time, but it was something that was done in July of last summer.
But I mean, for the university to support you like that, what does that sort of mean for you just generally?
It just means something. What it means to me is just to be able to be a part of this university and this program. For me, having gone to school here and wanted to go to school here, and then to say that I got a chance to come back and be Coach Williams' assistant for 9 years, and now I'm the head coach, just to be and to raise my family here. I've said before, it's not just a job, it's a mission field. I really feel like this is where Jesus has placed, purposed, and planned me to be, and it's just a real honor and a blessing to be able to serve in this capacity, and so to be able to do it as long as I can is something that puts a huge smile on my face.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everybody.